All right, so it's Friday, it's June 12th. Yesterday was a pretty substantial market crash, right? It didn't really come out of nowhere. Everybody went back to work on Wall Street and then just sold the crap out of everything. And now we're kind of there's no way that we weren't going to have a bounce this morning. And so the market's going to jump this morning a bit. Probably everything's going to be up for a bit. There's a lot of buyers. There's a lot of money on the sidelines that comes in every time something goes on sale. And everything went on sale yesterday. There were like 2 stocks in the S&P 500 that were in the green yesterday afternoon. And now if you take a look at the market this morning, look at this heat map on FinViz. You look at the heat map, there's almost everything's in the green pre-market. So that's just finviz.com. But pretty crazy, right? Oil and gas has 1 up. Healthcare has 1 down. Healthcare has 1 down. ABMD. Consumer cyclical has Fortune Brands. Consumer cyclical has PVH Corporation, that's down. Real estate has EES, that's down a bit. But mostly everything is up, right? So pretty much the market is coming screaming back with a vengeance. So it's pretty interesting stuff. Welcome if you're just getting here now. I'm Rob Booker, of course. This is coaching. And yesterday was a pretty good day. We had some good setups. Now, I've got some brand new stuff that not really super brand new, but I've got some stuff to talk to you about. But especially today, you have to remember that all trading involves a substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. And past performance is no guarantee of future results. And I'm not a broker, and this is not a recommendation to buy or sell any financial instruments. And this is only meant to be educational and informational. This is intended to help you learn how to do this stuff by yourself. It's June 12th. So up then down big today. Is that what we're going to see? Are we going to see the market jump and then crash? Just as the 15-minute on the Russell 2K future looks like a wave 4, IWM will have a gap up. It might be a fair trade to play a gap fill, a short term. Yeah. I look awake today. I did sleep better. With all the riots, are we headed for another crash? Multitasking yesterday. Yesterday, ABEV, ACOR, ASX did quite well in that they did not fall below my entry point, whereas everything else did. Yeah, it's a good sign when you have some trades, when the market's crashing and your trades aren't completely going into the garbage can. It's a pretty fair indication that things are not as bad for you as they are for others. And I think we've picked some pretty great financial instruments that can survive. So we'll take a look at the Bounty spreadsheet, in particular, Aqua and CRK. I have bad news for one person on the Bounty spreadsheet. I'm so sorry. Tom, you put DHT on there. Just a few days ago, Juan put DHT on there. So I'm sorry. I appreciate you both. I think, we know how it works, right? We're going to look at PDD today. We're going to pile on more maybe or get out. And we're going to talk about JD. We might do an afternoon call today, but it wouldn't be until like 2:45 p.m. Central Time. All right, let's just get right into it. Pinduoduo. I can't find any information about this company that suggests that it's anything less than total garbage. I hate to keep saying that over and over, but it truly is the case that I think that I've found something that is not a valuable company, and I'm happy to be short this company. I now have $70 puts and $65 puts that expire in September, right? And I like it. I'm happy to be in those trades. It's going to open higher today. No doubt it will open higher. Everything's going to open higher today. It's just the way it goes. And I'm okay with that, and I'll be fine. And I think that I may have to take a loss on this. I'm not losing more than a couple $100 right now. I may have to take a loss on this and then come back and revisit it again. And that's okay. And I'd be fine with that. it may not have had enough time to roll over all the way and go down. It may not really truly be ready. I'd like to look at the profit circles layout and see if, well, UVXY really did well yesterday, didn't it? So Pinduoduo, let's just see how far we are from printing a bearish profit circle on the 1 hour. It looks inevitable. And on the 4 hour, it still looks like it could happen. So it didn't drop back when I thought it would. I mean, listen, it also didn't print the bearish profit circle that I thought it would. We'll see if it does now. We'll see if we can, we'll see if this happens. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to have to take a loss on part of that position and then revisit it. I'm pretty sure about that. Now, JD.com, which is going to open higher today, not a surprise, printed a bearish profit circle yesterday on the 1 hour, plus 50 million divergences. And I did buy $55 put on $55 strike, the 18th of September expiration. I bought them for $5.30. And we'll see how this does today. If it breaks the highs and goes above 60, whatever, 60 bucks, I'll close it out. I don't know. The JD.com is a different story. It's a better company than Pinduoduo. But it did, you know, I think a lot of these Chinese companies are just completely cooking the books. I think that's been proven. I don't think I'm surprising anyone. They're just completely cooking the books, and they're not really as profitable as they say they are, or profitable at all, or even they're losing more money than they admit that they're losing. Just on every single level, it's just not a great situation. So I don't have a lot more to say about those, and I don't really need to say a lot more about those. I'm not going to let those go too far away from me. IWM, I don't know why I have a special relationship with the IWM. It's going to open way higher, relatively speaking. You know, it's going to open up a lot higher. It got bullish divergent yesterday, but it never hit the monthly pivot. I don't know. The futures may have hit the monthly pivot. I didn't check that. The futures may have hit their monthly pivot. It got close enough to the monthly pivot that it almost counts. And I wonder if this is the gap that, Jeff, you're talking about, or if you're talking about it jumping up higher on the open and then filling the gap back down. So I'm going to take another look at your comment. Looks like a wave 4. Have a gap up. It might be a fair trade. Yeah, short term. Yeah, I think short term, totally with you. Yeah, the options on all of these that we are talking about are too expensive. So we got to look at some stuff. Open higher and then gap back down. Yeah, it just makes sense to me. It just makes absolute perfect sense to me. I think, you know, I'm not really into day trading. You know, I'm not really a fan of day trading, but it does look like we're going to come right up against the top of old resistance, whatever it is, support resistance level 140, 88 or whatever. And I just feel like that would be a totally reasonable place to maybe grab a little bit of a short trade. That seems kind of fun even. Look at it a little bit bigger picture here. Yeah, that level right there, it's going to jump up to that level. And then, you know, I could imagine it filling this area and going back to the weekly pivot and the underside of that trend line. I can imagine a scenario in which that happens. You know, there's so much money on the sidelines. It wouldn't be the craziest thing that ever happened in the history of forever. But I think that this yearly VWAP wants to get hit. The yearly volume weighted average price wants to get hit. That's what I would favor. That's what I'm in favor of. I think that's what is likely to happen, is that we will continue down. But we'll see. We'll see what happens on the open. We're just a minute away from that. LXRX, heartbreaker yesterday, just still not going the way it's supposed to be going, and now it just looks like a bear flag. Now it just looks like this is never going anywhere. SGLB, I still love this trade. I love the earnings. I love the earnings transcript. I love the call. There's just not, I'm not getting out of that trade. Acor didn't do too badly yesterday. It might be bouncing right off the monthly pivot, which I like. ASX, of all of them, it had the best fundamentals, really, the best earnings calls. It just, not my opinion, my overall opinion hasn't changed. Reed, bad day yesterday, but that's okay. Lots of insider buying in some of this stuff. So, speaking of which, Aqua, can't remember who it was that put that on the bounty spreadsheet. Lauren, hey Lauren. Aqua, tons of insider buying, Lauren says. Bearish profit circle on the 4-hour, but bouncing maybe off of the yearly volume weighted average price. So could get a bounce. LXRX, let's just take a look at all of these before we really get into things. LXRX up on the open. Sigma Labs up a little bit on the open. Acor up just a little bit on the open. ASX up just a little bit on the open. Reed going to be up a little bit on the open. Pinduoduo, boom shakalaka, not new highs, but definitely stronger at the open here. That's a pretty great open for Pinduoduo. Good for them. Good for Johnny Blue in the Exotics Club that also likes that company. And here we are, right at the underside, right at the underside here, right at resistance. So I've got Pinduoduo and I've got IWM going side by side here. And I'm just going to kind of watch this a bit just for a few minutes. Yeah, some of our favorites are up a bit at the open here. And look at that giant move upward to start things off today. Wow. I don't know. I don't trust it. I don't trust that. I don't trust that move. Hard for me to So yeah, I'm going to pull everything up here and just make sure. I don't know. I could be convinced. I could be talked into a little bit of an IWM day trading of the options. I could be talked into that. The $139 put. I could be talked into that sometime today. You know, not right this immediate second when option prices are probably completely ridiculous and out of control. I could probably be talked into that. Okay, we'll go over to the bounty spreadsheet and just kind of read through. Wanted to read through CRK and Aqua. So Comstock Resources, this is on the bounty spreadsheet from Tom. Thank you, Tom. Okay, here we go. I think you even put some notes in a couple of these. There's no guidance. Natural gas. Oh, single page view. There we go. Summarize our outlook for the year. We're primarily focused on free cash flow generation, managing the company. While natural gas prices remain relatively low, The outlook for natural gas is improved. That's nice. I like this. Still expect 6 to 8% pro forma production growth. This is good. It's growth. Financial guidance for the rest of the year, the guidance is unchanged. Total production guidance expected to be blah, 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 blah. Natural gas factored in shut-in factor, blah, 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 blah. Lease operating costs, blah, 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 blah. I like it. I like it a lot. I don't see any reason why I wouldn't buy a little bit of this company, depending on what the chart looks like. So we're going to look at the chart here. Way up this morning. Wow, up from, well, I guess that's all relative, right? Not way up. Way up on the 5-minute chart. 1 hour chart. 4 hour chart. What an interesting looking chart. We don't really see a lot of charts that look like this. Yeah, I like it. I kind of like it a lot. I could go along this company. I like the earnings. I like the let's see what their Yahoo Finance situation looks like. Of course, they're overvalued, right? They have revenue. They have profits. They don't have a ton of cash in the bank, but they've got cash. I don't hate them. I don't hate them. I kind of like it. So my oscillator at the bottom of the chart. That's the relative strength index set to 14. Yes, CRX is only lacking. It's you reading my mind here, Sue. It lacks the perfect trade setup. That's what it's missing. You're 100% right. Exactly. The stochastic one. Oh, this is the profit circles chart, Kelly. This is the MACD 12, 26, and 9, and the stochastic 70, 10, 10. Okay, so I haven't taken a trade on CRK yet. I'm just going to give that a minute. Okay, I'm going to search for the word guidance. Based on our current expectations, to begin, we serve a broad and diversified set of end markets, with our largest single market only comprising 20% of overall sales. Customer concentration is good. Estimate demand in 6 out of 10 primary end markets, neutral or growing. Aquatics business sales growth. Some delays in pool and water park openings. Oil and gas business. Blah, 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 blah. Very pleased for solid Q2 above the guidance range. I like it. I like it a lot. What do we got here? What's the old earnings estimates being revised upward look like? It's a 1. This is a strong company. This is a really nice find. Lauren? Guidance was suspended. It doesn't, well, maybe I was reading the wrong. I don't think I was reading the wrong one. Yeah, this is great. Hey, look, Porsche's serving me ads. I should buy a 911, shouldn't I? Doesn't it seem like a really good idea? Let me know if you think that sounds like a good idea. Okay. I like Aqua. I'm totally into this one. Fundamentally, totally into it. Ooh, look at that. It's already trending. Oh, look at that. Okay, so that's definitely not a perfect trade, so to speak. However, at the monthly pivot where we usually see a bounce, I like it. I would take this trade. I don't know if there's any options on this, but I mean, there's only one way to find out, right? I still haven't traded the IWM, but I'm thinking about it. I'm just going to keep an eye on that. Yeah, let 15 minutes go by here. So Aqua's trading at 17, blah, blah, blah. If I bought a call, the bid-ask spread's not bad on these. Okay, the bid-ask spread on the August ones is pretty bad. Okay, I'm going to consider Aqua. I'm going to bold it or, otherwise. And then I think what I'm going to do is check, the IWM stuff and just kind of keep an eye on it for the next little while. We had a pretty good week here. It's not a lot that we have to do now. So the $140 put on the IWM. I would be interested at the conclusion of this 15-minute candle. I would be interested in shorting it. That's a bullish profit circle on the 5-minute. Not that that means anything. Yeah, yeah, I'm just gonna keep an eye on it here. I know I'm kind of quiet right now, but I want to be sort of at least a little bit smart about how quickly I am to jump in on something, but I am really bearish. Snap, they're selling from company and propped up pricing only looks temporary. Knoxville divergence present on 4-hour. GLDD, but it never came down to the entry point. It's there now. It's a dredging company. Okay. Thompson's by the Porsche. Okay. Yeah, I think IWM needs a little push higher. And then we'll look at Snap. And then I think I'm going to go to breakfast. We've had a good week. Yeah. Yeah, Snapchat. Look at that. I'm going to look at your comment. Oh, wow. I'm not a real fan of Snapchat, and that is a pretty horrendous. There's no bearish profit circle, but geez, hard for me to imagine Snap getting a really great rating on anything. Yeah, they're not really even rated very well for earnings surprises. Yeah, I think I'm ready to short the Russell here. So I'm going to do a real quick one here. I'm going to go ahead and bought the $140 strike. Expiration is August. I just like those. I bought them for $9.67. And we'll see Like filling this gap seems like this is what I'm expecting. There's a little gap filling. And that would be a lot of fun if that gap would fill. I still like LXRX. Let's take a look at GLDD. I will, LaDonna, if you want to put Snap on the bounty spreadsheet, I would consider shorting Snap on a bearish profit circle. 100%. I actually really appreciate you bringing that one to our attention. Here's GLDD. Yeah, that's a pretty beautiful chart. It went down to that monthly pivot. That's kind of spectacular, isn't it? I'm going to let it go down a little further. I'm up $0 on my IWM trade. Okay, I'm going to go back to watching Pinduoduo, and it's still up for the day. Yep, it's still up for the day. It's up kind of nicely. That's fine. And then there's JD.com. Not really up in any significant manner, so I don't mind holding on to that one. Okay. Just a really short session here today, everyone. I just don't I think we're set. I don't think there's any brand new trades that we need to take on a Friday and ride into the weekend. Certainly not going to hold an IWM put through the weekend. I mean, 0% chance I would do that. Yeah, my feeling is that any movement up this morning in IWM gets corrected because no one wants to hold longs into the weekend. Okay, I'm going to process this recording and go to breakfast.